Hey guys, welcome back to Metropolis After Hours. This is episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I'm Flynn Cook.
Oh my God, you did not just say that. I'm Gilbert.
And like I said, this is the third episode, and we will have another permanent co-host very soon. He just hasn't been able to be with us.
Right.
His name is John Barry. He's the big-hearted fellow you might have seen if you've been to the shop. And if you haven't been to the shop, what are you doing sitting there?
What are you
Come on
waiting
out.
for? Yeah, you can meet John by coming in on Saturdays or Friday
or Friday nights.
Friday evenings,
sporadically.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes. Yeah. But unless he finds a better gig, he's here. So, all right, so tonight...
We've got our topics tonight.
Yeah, we actually have a couple of things we want to talk about tonight. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately, since the trailer for Kick-Ass was just aired. Sorry, parents might want to ask your kids to leave if you don't want them to hear me say Kick-Ass, because that's the name of the comic book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Flynn doesn't like it at all, but he hasn't read it. And it's one of my guilty pleasures. I actually hate the ultra-violence of Kick-Ass, but I love the book. I think it's really good. It's written by Mark Millar and drawn by John Romita Jr. And it's one of those books that you just know you're going to hell for reading, but you just can't stop reading it. It's just...
Yeah,
like
Mark Millar is he's the Paul Verhoeven of the comic book world.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. He pulls no punches. Kick-Ass is basically the story of a teenage boy who decides, he wakes up one morning and says, hey, I want to be a superhero. But it's a superhero in the real world, so, he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, he just gets together a really lame costume and just figures out a way to sort of conceal his identity. He has no training whatsoever, and he just grabs himself a pair of dowels that he turns into some sort of lame nunchucks, and then he goes out and starts trying to do good in the world. And the thing is, he ends up getting his ass kicked horribly a bunch of times.
No pun intended.
But eventually he meets a 10-year-old masked vigilante named Hit Girl. She calls herself Hit Girl, and her father, Big Daddy. And so mayhem ensues, as you might think. They meet another guy, Red Mist, and with the movie coming out, I've been thinking about the difference between the movies and the comic books really comes into play. I gotta believe that the movie's not going to be as violent as the book.
Oh, it probably will. They can push a lot. They can get a lot of mileage out of an R rating these days. It's not like the 80s.
No, I know that. I mean, this is going to definitely be a hard R for violence.
Yeah.
But but still, the book. Oh my God. The amount of gore in the book is unbelievable, and I don't know whether to call it a bad thing, a good thing, or whatever. I mean, it's like, what do you do? How do you draw that line? I mean,
well, see, that's the thing. I mean, Marvel's been doing nasty books since the '80s with Epic. Although Kick-Ass is not Marvel; it's independent. Who publishes Kick-Ass?
Marvel.
Is it Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a Marvel imprint, but leave it to Marvel. They've been pushing the envelope for years and years and years, and basically, the ultraviolet comics are nothing new. However, this has become a pervasive trend in comic books lately, and like you were telling me earlier before we started filming, Marvel has a new book coming out that is Mark Millar again, basically the same thing but for mainstream Marvel. Yeah, same writer. It's basically just another ultra-violent book, and this one actually takes place within the Marvel universe, and so it's going to be called Nemesis. It'll be you'll see it in your January previews, which actually it's now too late for you to turn in those orders. But tonight,
number 2 is being shown in your next month's previews in February. So if you're interested in it, do let us know. We're really interested in hearing from you guys on stuff like this. Yeah. This Kick-Ass takes place in an alternate universe, not in the Marvel universe. Nemesis takes place in the Marvel universe, and it's written by the same writer. Yeah. So, we've got
a long point short,
we've got this super violent trend going on in comics right now, and to me, I'm not really sure of where the line needs to be drawn. When I read A Clockwork Orange, I was a freshman in high school. And at that time, that was super violent, and that was really considered to be right on the edge of what you could do and what you could not do. And I remember being really conflicted about that then, because you're actually rooting for this guy Alex, and he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
And
see, that's a novel, though.
You end up turning him into an anti-hero, and the thing is, Kick-Ass, he's not violent in his heart. He just wants to stop people from doing violence to other people. So I'm stuck with thinking, look, you really shouldn't do stuff this violent unless your book is really good. And then if it's really good, it's okay. But if it sucks, you can't do it.
See, I have a problem with that. In the end, on one hand, I don't have a problem with violent comics, but on the other hand, I think that kind of stuff should be left to actual novels. Comic books are a medium that have gotten away from children. Now, that's not to say I want, campy tights and pow, zap, and wham to come back, but I think comic books can be serious. They don't have to be ultra-violent and overly gritty.
They don't have to be really dark all the time either. Yeah. And that brings us to Brightest Day.
Exactly. As Marvel is going darker and darker with their comics and more violent, DC is doing the inverse, and with their new follow-up to Blackest Night, Brightest Day, I heard an interview somewhere, I forget who it was with now, they said that it's going to start making the DC Universe back to being more optimistic. Not campy, they're still going to be serious, but they're going to get away from the excessive nihilism that has pervaded comics, particularly with Batman.
I'm so excited about that.
So am I.
For my money, that's kind of the thing that I grew up with, and I'm really looking forward to that, because I really want to attract younger readers to comic books.
Comic books are not friendly to kids right now.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that with something like Siege or with, Kick-Ass or whatever. You can't put that in a kid's hand. And if a kid gets a hold of one, oh my God, we've got the cops here,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm looking forward to Brightest Day. It should be a very, very good story. And I mean, Blackest Night, if Blackest Night is any indication, it should be great follow-up.
Well, it's Jeff Johns, I gotta say. I mean, that man knows what he's doing.
He sure does.
But as a real quick wrap-up, I'd like to draw to the attention of you, the loyal viewer, that this symbiote-clad salesman has a blog.
Yeah, we both do. But I'm the worst blogger in the world. I admit it. Flynn is probably way better than I am.
Not that much better. I just recently updated it. I'm going to be restarting it. It's called Blathering Blatherskite. Hard words to say, but that describes the blog perfectly. It's basically my ramblings about whatever I feel like, mostly going to deal with pop culture, so it would be something that you, the viewer, would want to read. And that can be reached by putting in the URL b-blatherskite.blogspot.com, and there should be a little text popping up at the bottom here. Our post-production guy will take care of that. And the address for hers, which is about comics in general and more specifically about the store.
It's about the store and about comics in general. And I actually try to review, a couple of comics a month. When I actually have time to sit down and read them, I actually try to review them, tell them what I like about them and what you should like about them. And if I don't like them, I tell you that too. I'm not just here to sell comic books. I'm here to sell you good comic books.
Exactly, as we all are here. Her blog can be reached at metrohero.blogspot.com.
All right, and and I think that's about it for this time. It's just, there we go. They're telling us final thoughts.
Thank you, loyal crew.
Thank you, crew.
Basically, we're gonna try and hit more frequent episodes in the future. I wanted to talk about what's currently happening in the Batman comics, but we don't have time right now.
Next time.
So next time, we'll talk about what's currently going on with Batman, the return of Bruce Wayne, and maybe some other topics. Hopefully, we'll shoot another one later this week. So
excellent.
Take it easy, guys.
Stay out of the rain, but don't stay out of the store on Wednesday. Make sure that you come and check us out on Wednesday.
If it's raining, come on in.
Yeah, we have waterproof bags. Don't worry about the rain.
Bags and boards. So, Metropolis After Hours, signing off.